What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Back with another live stream today, Saturday, people. Hope you're out there enjoying your weekend. Before the Arsenal turn up tomorrow and try and put a down on everything by stressing us all out against Chelsea. But, we are here today. We'll look ahead to that game, look at the latest transfer news, and look at the latest in the world of football. Big up to everyone. Hope you're well. And smash a like on the video and subscribe, people. Why are we waiting? Apologies, people. I was genuinely just late this time. And we will discuss the lineup for tomorrow. News is coming today about Aubameyang. Aubameyang completed the full training session today at London Colney. So is he possibly going to be available to start the game tomorrow, despite, not playing last week? He did complete pre-season. And, I still just think, even if Aubameyang is not fully fit, no disrespect to Balogun, but we saw last week that, he was a little bit out of his depth. And I think that even a 80-90% fit Aubameyang is going to offer us more than what Balogun offered us last week. Let's be totally honest. So we'll have to see on that one. But big up everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. Appreciate your kind words. And all the support on the channel lately has been amazing. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We've gone past 33,000. Don't forget, tomorrow I will be at the protest. And I will show you a bit of a stream of that. Like I said, whether it will be a big protest or not, I don't know. The general feeling since Arsenal have bought Ramsdale and Odegaard seems to be that people are not so much on the protest. They seem to be like, well, he's spent a lot of money and it seems to have calmed down a little bit. So we'll have to see. And I will be doing a watch along for the game tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned in for that. Big up to everyone. Just looking through the results today, actually. I've just not long come back in. Like someone saying there, Danny Ings on fire, 2-2. Could Arsenal have signed him? Liverpool beat Burnley 2-0. Goals from Jota and Mane. Villa beat Newcastle 2-0. Ings and El Ghazi. Palace Brentford was 0-0. Leeds drew 2-2 with Everton. Click and Rafinha, Calvert-Lewin and Damari Gray. City won 5-0. Tim Krul own goal. Grealish, Laporte, Sterling and Mahrez. And there's a game this evening, Brighton against Watford. So, a lot of scores going off today, people. Listen, let's get into the latest. Arsenal completed their second signing in the day. I did stream yesterday, but obviously this was announced a little bit later. The deal that we kind of, how can I say? I felt like this deal was going to happen because we'd been kind of saying, do we really want this deal to happen? It will be typical of Arsenal that the one we're not really pushing for as a fan base is the deal that we will probably get completed. Now, Aaron Ramsdale completed his move to Arsenal, £24 million with £6 million in add-ons, making it a £30 million deal when these add-ons are completed. Now, he did an interview yesterday when he joined Arsenal, and I admit myself, I'm going to keep it 100. I love the interview. Yeah, I love the interview. Doesn't mean, anything to do with what he's going to be like as a player, but I love the interview. He spoke with passion. He spoke about his pride. He said he couldn't stop smiling. He said every time he plays at the Emirates, he looks upon it as a ground that he wishes he could play at every single week. He's got his move to Arsenal. He joins Arsenal Football Club. It's a 5-year contract for the 23-year-old England international goalkeeper, although, England international in the sense that he was in the squad. I don't think he's actually got a cap for England or made an appearance. But the interview was good. It was great. It was the interview you want to hear from players. I don't want... I'm sick of players acting like we're doing them a favor, right? Every time players come to this football club, it's almost like, okay, I'm doing a favor to join Arsenal. Players talk about Arsenal as if, we're lucky to have them. it's nice to hear a player speak with such pride, passion, and joy at being at the football club. And yeah, I listen. I love the interview, and as I've said before, I'm going to support him wholeheartedly. I'm going to support him. The jury's out. The jury's out, right? Chris Fraser said the jury's out on his quality, but I like the interview. Man actually said, I'm here to take Leno's #1 shirt. Winning mentality, time will tell. He was asked, are you here to challenge Bernd Leno? And he said, yes. I'm here. I think competition is healthy, and I'm here to become the #1. Brilliant. You're speaking all the right things, right? Time will tell. It's as simple as that. I've spoken about this guy so much throughout the week. I have given you my opinion. I'm not going to say too much more about him. The proof will be in the pudding. On one hand, we've signed players with big reputations before, aka Willian. Had his best season at Chelsea, Brazilian international, came in, did nothing, right? On the other hand, we've signed big players like Alexis Sanchez, who were big players, who've ripped the place apart and showed us that quality. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is all I can say at the end of the day. There's not much more I can say about him. Again, I've been looking into him a little bit more. Strengths, weaknesses. I have seen him play a few times, as I do have a friend, David McGoldrick, who plays for Sheffield United. It appears to me he's a very good shot stopper. His kicking is decent. His commanding of the penalty area is one of his weaknesses, in my opinion. His ability to come out and command the penalty area is something that I definitely think he needs to improve on. Chris Wilder, when he was the manager, was not necessarily a goalkeeper, a manager that encouraged his goalkeeper to play out from the back. So in that sense, I'm still not totally sure how good he is at being a ball-playing goalkeeper. Which is what we kind of feel like we've signed him for. That's what we feel like we need him for. We want to play out from the back. Can Aaron Ramsdale play out from the back? That is something that time will tell whether he can actually do that or not. He's in the door, 5-year contract, £55,000 a week, and it's on him now. It's on him. As I said, there will be pressure on him, but he's going to have to do the business, answer those questions in the right way by performing. And listen, at the end of the day, and I'm going to be totally honest, Leno is no world beater, right? Leno is no world beater at the end of the day and hasn't been amazing since he's been at the football club. So I would say, look, come in and push that guy out of the team. Prove that you're better than him and push him out of the team. Right? That's what we want to see. We want to see a goalkeeper that we believe is better. Forget the reputation. Put that mentality on the pitch. Tomo, big up for the super chat, said, finishing 8th, 2 seasons in a row. We needed to improve the starting 11. We added a centre-back. That's it after £129 million. This is where the problem is. We need these players to get into the team. Listen, Ramsdale needs to push Leno out the door, right? Leno has got 2 years left on his deal. Apparently doesn't want to renew his contract. I think he'll leave the club next summer. Ramsdale needs to come in and push him out of the team. It's as simple as that. Ramsdale should make his debut this week when Arsenal play West Brom in the Carabao Cup. I don't think he'll play tomorrow. He should be on the bench with the fact he's only just signed. Come in, do the business against West Brom and build from there. We need players to come into this team and help improve that starting 11. Ben White needs to be a success. You probably aren't going to see the best of Arsenal until Gabriel's back, until Thomas Partey's back, until Aubameyang's fit, Lacazette's fit. But we have to pull something out of the bag tomorrow. Listen, Aaron Ramsdale, welcome to Arsenal. I wish you all the best. You're 23. You've got a huge opportunity. Take advantage of it. That is it at the end of the day. That's the most I'm going to say about it. I wish him well. I really do wish him well. And it's a huge opportunity for him. I'm sure when he got relegated with Sheffield United, he will have looked at it and thought, where is my career going? He ends up going to the Euros because Dean Henderson and Nick Pope got injured. So effectively, when a lot of people say England international, and I'm only speaking facts here, he is fourth or fifth choice for England. Let's keep it 100. He doesn't get into the England squad when all goalkeepers are available. They pick Pickford, they pick Henderson, they pick Pope. That is their three. And then it's a toss of the coin between maybe Ramsdale and Sam Johnston. So we're going to see. I'm not going to judge him. He is where he is, but it's where he ends up that is the key. Brett said Leno needs to feel some pressure to up his game, 100%. Last season he had Renarson there. How was he ever going to push himself as a player, knowing that was the backup? Big up Brandon, he said, Ramsdale is a good keeper, Big C. Let's support him. He's 22, he can improve. I know we wanted Onana, but we got Ramsdale. He seems hardworking. Also, remember, Maguire was relegated 4 times, but see now, listen, we have to look at that. Gini Wijnaldum was relegated with Newcastle, ended up winning the Champions League in the Prem with Liverpool and moving to PSG. Andy Robertson was relegated, again, won those 2 trophies. Maguire was relegated, cost £80 million. He's now the England captain. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. We've all got opinions on this deal. I've given you my opinion many times this week. I'm in a position now. There's no point in me constantly bashing this guy and saying I don't think he's good enough. We could have got better. He's in. Prove yourself. Prove yourself now and become the goalkeeper that we really hope you can become. Martin said, I'm back in Ramsdale. Got good vibes, positivity. Listen, I absolutely loved his interview. Loved it. Said all the right things. But like many people said, I enjoyed Mikel Arteta's interview when he got the job. A year later, I'm saying I want him out the door. So I'm not going to get too caught up in interviews. I want to see producing quality performances on the pitch. Over 1,200 people in the chat, people. Make sure you smash the like button on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. 1-1 said, I think we have improved the squad, but it's not £129 million worth of improvement. We are still well short. I still think we're going to need to sign 1 or 2 players before the window closes. Ideally, I would probably want 3. A centre midfielder, a right back, and an attacking player. I think we'll probably go for 1, maybe 2 if we can get a few out of the door. A few things that were mentioned regarding Aaron Ramsdale and the things that were said about his signing. In The Athletic, they said, at Sheffield United, Ramsdale tended to play longer passes. Staff have studied him with his time with Bournemouth and England under 21s and believe he is capable of a short passing game. Arsenal admire his bravery on the ball and ability to throw quickly and accurately over distance. I mean, interesting. I'm sure for England under 21s, he would have played a much better passing style of football than what he's been playing for Sheffield United, who are not really a ball-playing side. K-Show said Ramsdale was the last signing. I genuinely think if we can get a few out, that we will go and buy somebody else. So, yeah, I do think... Listen, I'm hopeful. That's all I can be. Isn't that his job? Yeah, listen, it is his job, but his job is to perform, you know. His job is to perform. If he comes in and does well, we'll forget everything that we've said previously. If he doesn't do well, then, hey, it is what it is in terms of Ramsdale. So we'll have to see, people. We need Max Aarons. Apparently, Aarons got dealt with today. But listen, Manchester City away is not the easiest of places to perform. Gabby Pepe said, Curtis, how do you rate this transfer window? I mean, we are short in requirements still. I put I put a tweet out yesterday saying, what would you rate the current Arsenal transfer window out of 10? And I think we're probably at about 5 at the most. 4 or 5, I would rate this window, somewhere between there. At the start of this transfer window, I felt the number one priorities were a top quality central midfielder to play next to Partey and a top quality right back. And I don't know where that is coming from. Why those players haven't been signed. Sonny D said, I keep getting timed out. I'm done. Unsubscribe, people. Any of the new mods or existing mods, please don't be, kicking out people if they haven't said anything. I will check back after Sonny D, because it does tell me what moderator has timed people out. So I will check. But listen, what would you rate this transfer window out of 10, people? Don Robbie saying this is a great window. I don't think anybody can call this a great window. I got to be honest. Change the tactics and put in Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Big up DG in the cut. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're good, man. Said Curtis Shaw FC. Big up DG, man. Hope you're well, bro. And we'll have to get a stream done maybe next week. Lord Nicholas Bentner said 2 out of 10. Mohammed said 4. Zunaid says 5. Caden said 4. GB said 3 because we haven't really significantly strengthened our first 11. We have failed to ship players out that we need to. It's a good point. Mods are going mad. Mods are going wild still. 4.2. 6 out of 10 if we get a right back or centre mid, 7 or 8. Morris says 1 out of 10. That guy D said 4. I'm at listen, the one thing I like about this window, and this is the only thing that I can really cling on to, I would give it a 4 or a 5 because my issue is the right back, the central midfielder, we haven't strengthened. A new contract to Granit Xhaka, 50 million on Ben White when I think we could have got better for that price or should have got Ben White for cheaper. And not enough creativity brought into the team early enough. You know, that for me is where the disappointment is. But I think we can end the window better if we can sell 3 or 4 players and get a few in. This is the only positive, in my opinion, is the fact that you look at the age here of the players now. We've got a good, young, hungry squad of players here and a good set of players that you hope can grow together. The issue is we need a team that can affect this Premier League now. They keep talking about the project. Project to me is long-term thinking. What is the short-term plan? Long-term project, short-term plan. If we finish 8th again this season, 7th, nobody cares about this. That is positive in a sense. Ben White, centre-back, 23, England international. Ramsdale, 23, England. Tavares, 21. Lokonga, 21. Odegaard, 22. Smith-Rowe, 21. Saka, 19. Tierney, 24. Martinelli, 20. And Gabriel, 23. I think Pepe's only 25 as well. But what is the short-term plan? I always think you have to plan short-term and long-term. Short-term should be Arsenal have to get back into Europe. Arsenal have to push to get back into the Champions League. So it is what it is. People saying they are being timed out as well. Stan Kroenke, who's been a regular in the chat, to be fair. Why did I get time out? I just said Arteta got perfect here. People, mods. I've added a few new mods this week. And a few people are complaining, saying they've been timed out. So just go easy. I will check afterwards, though, people. Hopefully people are maybe just trolling again. But I will check afterwards who was doing it. But yeah, Willock looks like a baller. I mean, listen, the club needed to take some money because the problem is that we needed to get some cash. We've only sold 1 player for money this season. And if you look at it, look at all the players that we still need to sign and sell. We need to move on the likes of Torreira, Kolasinac, El Neni, and Nketiah, Nelson, Bellerin, Lacazette. I'm not saying all of those guys will go, but some of these guys need to go. We need to save some money on wages. I think if we can sell 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, that we can get a couple through the door. Big up Drogbino. He said, it was very hard watching you on AFTV because I truly believe that you can say what you want on that platform. Now, listen, I think when you're on a show, somebody messaged me saying, oh, I felt you was a little bit more withdrawn on the show. Check out the show that came out this morning. Me, Ty, and Laurie. Listen, sometimes when you're on your own show, and you've got an hour to talk and say everything you want, you can get everything off your chest. Sometimes when you're on a show with 2 other people, things slip your mind and the way you express them is a little different. But listen, you know me, people. You know I give my true thoughts and feelings on anything regarding Arsenal or football. But big up Jorbino. Over 1.2 in the chat. Hit the likes, people. What's London's finest said? He said, big up them. Yo, that mod life, you know. Mods are power drunk. Who mods the mods? Hey, that's it, man. I'm going to have to look back after. See what's happening. Hit the like button, people. But listen, at least the positives is we've got some good young players coming through. But I just think that Arsenal haven't done enough to address the current situation in this starting lineup, this starting 11. Let's face it, and this may seem a little naive to say this, but the players on the bench don't necessarily win you trophies. You need them to back you up. But the reality is, you have to have a strong starting 11. Arsenal have improved their squad in this transfer window, definitely. But I just don't feel they've significantly improved their starting 11 enough. The centre-back, Ben White's coming for David Luiz. Okay, I think that's an improvement. But David Luiz was very good on the ball, no matter what we think about him. And he was a leader in the dressing room. Xhaka's replaced Xhaka. Only Arsenal could do that. No right back. We've got 4 right backs at the football club, and he doesn't seem content with any of them. So, yeah, the attacking lineup. I mean, Odegaard was here for the last 6 months, so he's been here. So we don't look very different, and I think that's what people wanted to see, a different lineup. To me, when you finish 8th, there should be considerable changes to that starting lineup. Heaven Angel said, big up Big C, didn't expect to stream today. You know what? I was going to take a day off, but, days off don't get you nowhere, really, do they? So I thought, you know what? We haven't spoken about Ramsdale signing, so let's get into it. Big up my bro, Broads in the chat said, big up Big C, hope you well, my bro. Anthony F said, Arsenal have inflated the market this year with mediocre buys. They then complain they can't compete in the window. Do you know what? I saw this actually on Sky Sports yesterday, saying that Arsenal have actually affected this market in a negative way by signing players with not big reputations on big money. And that will lift the market up, because all of a sudden, if you go and buy a goalkeeper now, particularly an English keeper, they're going to go, well, hang on a minute, Ramsdale just cost 30 mil. So Sam Johnston may have been worth 10, 15. Maybe now he's worth 25, 30, and that can affect the market negatively. Ben White, imagine if you're trying to sign an English centre-back. They're going to go, well, Ben White costs 50 million. So, yeah, I think you make a good point there. G Money said, yo, Curtis, I need advice. I'm in Vegas right now. Do you think I should bet on Arsenal to beat Chelsea? Payout is big with $100 down. I mean, listen, I would not like to give you any advice on betting, especially when it comes to Arsenal, right? We're going to talk about the potential team later on. It wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal pulled something out of the bag, because it's so Arsenal that when they're written off, they'll pull a result out of the bag. But I think they're going to struggle to beat Chelsea tomorrow. And Lukaku apparently is in the squad. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to direct you. I go with your gut feeling, bro. I wouldn't like to advise you either way, people. Big up G Money for tuning in. Big up Ryan Williams. He said, you're right, Curtis, but we need leaders and experience. Why can't he see that unless he thinks next season in his mind, if he's still here, that we could get experience when we need it now? Listen, he can sit here all he likes, Mikel Arteta, and say, we've got all these great young players who can grow together and they're going to get better and better and better. But you need to make sure you're still in the job. You have to have a balance of experience and youth. Yeah, it's great having all these young players. You saw last season that the young players were the ones leading the team, really. Your Sakas, your Smith Rowes, your Tiernets. It's the experienced players that need to step up. For me, I would just love to see Arsenal get a midfielder, get in a fullback. That would give me such a more positive outlook on this transfer window. I would have liked to have seen 4 new players in the starting 11 that finished the season last season. At the moment, we're only really looking at Ben White. Lokonga's playing because Partey's injured. Broad said, I'm going to the game tomorrow. I'm actually looking forward to watching Chelsea, not going to lie. So, I mean, we got Arsenal fans. They're more looking forward to watching Chelsea, champions of Europe, Lukaku. Man, ain't even looking forward to watching Arsenal. Big up Broads, though, bruv. Fon Ellis said, Big C, we need to affect the Premier League now. Project is for the mid-table teams, 100%. This is not, no disrespect, a Southampton, a Newcastle, a Crystal Palace. You've got 3 years to build a project and see if you can do something. He won an FA Cup after 6 months. That proved he could compete on some sort of level. But as I've always said, being a good manager in a cup competition, especially a knockout one, does not necessarily mean you are a great manager in club football. Club football is 38 games. Jose Mourinho said himself, it's harder to win the league in England than it is to win the Champions League. If you get a good run, get out of the group, couple of teams that you should brush, you may get a quarters, a semis, and a final. You may have to beat 3 quality teams to win a Champions League. Premier League is so difficult. You've seen how difficult it is to produce. Teams are getting 90 points, 100 points. You know, that's how difficult it is nowadays. So he has to show that he can produce on a much longer level to show where we're at. Victor said we're on mid-table right now, top 6. No, listen, I think at the moment, Arsenal have to prove they're a top 6 team because we finished 8th for 2 years in a row. So we have to improve. We have to show what we're about now. People are asking questions, and rightly so. We've just lost to Brentford. It's time for us to answer back. Show something tomorrow that gives people something to believe in. We have 2 games until the international break. We cannot go into that international break on the back of 3 defeats. How are you supposed to build off that? You know yourself as a fan, people. There's nothing worse than losing the game before the international break. You have to stew on it for 2 weeks while watching boring England games in a qualifier against players you've never heard of. You know, you want to see Arsenal win a game now. We play Manchester City at the Etihad next week. They've just won 5-0. Their season is going to begin now. Transfer window shuts in about 10 days' time. So they're going to look to maybe get Harry Kane this week. You know, Arsenal need to beat Chelsea tomorrow, or they could be in a real mess this early in the season. Arsenal, no way, top 6, top 10. I mean, listen, they finished 8th last season and we were terrible for the first half. So it's not impossible for Arsenal to get top 6. I got to be honest. What formation and tactics are we using? 3-4-1-2. I think he'll play 4 at the back again tomorrow. I don't see him changing. Broad said, hopefully see some of you lot there tomorrow at the game. If you're there, big up Broads. Make sure you enjoy the game, bro. I will be down there at the protest, actually, Broad. So I might see you down there. Asgar said, Big C, mad skills, bro, reading comments and spitting facts. Nah, it's easy, man. You lot put quality comments in there, man. So it encourages me to get involved and read the comments. But tomorrow is going to be a big game. Here's one I made earlier, people. Here's a team that I believe he should pick tomorrow. I've said earlier on in the week, I would like to see him play 3 at the back against Chelsea. But I don't think he will. I think he'll go with 4. This is the team that I would go with tomorrow. Now, I know what some of you are thinking looking at this. Aubameyang completed full training today, people. He trained yesterday as well, although I believe he wasn't part of the group for the whole session yesterday. For me, if Aubameyang's trained for 2 days, he starts. Simple as that. I watched Balogun last week. He wasn't ready. The only way you're going to get the best out of Balogun, if you give him game time and you create chance after chance. We created nothing last week. Aubameyang 80%, 75%, he's better than Balogun. He has to start. He has to start for me. This is too big a game. Apparently, he didn't have symptoms from the COVID, so he probably didn't feel too bad. He would have still been able to train at home and continue with his fitness work. He's trained for the past 2 days. Aubameyang has to start. You're the captain, the leader. As long as you feel physically fine, we need you on that pitch tomorrow, right? This could be a big game for Aubameyang. Chelsea at home, fans back in the stadium, captain. Answer these critics. I've backed Aubameyang the whole way, people. You know, I've had a lot of slander for backing him up. I think he has to play. Give me your opinions on this starting lineup. What would you change? I was tempted to pull Pablo Mari out, I got to be honest. But I'm just not sure who to replace him with. Rob Holding was terrible against Chelsea in pre-season. And that's it. But let me know what you would change. Andy Arsenal, big up, bro, said we need a centre mid and right back. We wait till next year. Then we will need a striker and a backup goalkeeper, which we will only get 2. Rebuild never ends and Saka and ESR will leave. Even if you look at this team now, if you get a full-time right back in and you put another centre mid in there, drop Thomas Partey back in, drop Gabriel in for Pablo Mari, and it's not too bad a team. I'm not saying it's top 4, but it's not bad. It's competitive. It can do something. I have to admit, I was quite tempted. A few of you saying Chambers. I would like possibly to see Chambers in ahead of Pablo Mari. I think he's quite poor at centre-back. Napshot Studio said, Big C, love from Singapore. Our squad is overloaded with young players with huge potential, but our experienced players are not cutting the mustard. Will that affect their ability to further improve? I think it can. They don't need the pressure on their back the whole time, you know. Sometimes you need older, experienced players to help out. And you know what? I'm actually going along with that. I would actually take him out of the team. I think he was awful last week. And I think at least Chambers could have that scrap, could have that fight, you know. 2 English centre-backs, just go and have a scrap, you know. And I think he is I think Pablo Mari is poor centre-back in my opinion. Michael Connor said, if we get beat by West Brom in the Carabao Cup, Arteta has to go. West Brom will be like Brentford. Will be tough. I think they're near the top of the Championship. Spanked Sheffield United 4-0 in midweek, and I believe they won today as well. So that won't be easy. I would replace Ainsley with Cedric. I was thinking of that, but I just think Ainsley deserves a chance. I really do. Cedric is not the answer long term. He wants these inverted fullbacks as well. So, like, when you haven't got the ball, he wants you to drift into these areas and become like a central midfielder. Tierney goes on the overlap, but he wants you to do that Kyle Walker thing where you kind of step into here. Now, Ainsley can play midfield / right back. So I think he's capable of playing in that role. I'm telling you, I think Chambers is a centre-back. Simple as that. I think if you remember under Unai Emery before he got injured, he was having one of his best spells at Arsenal at centre-back next to Socrates. People were saying this could be a big season for him. And then he got injured and all of a sudden Arteta thinks he's a right back again. He is not a right back. He's never been a right back. Listen, for me, I would go with Ainsley at right back. Bellerin needs to be sold. Cedric is back up, in my opinion. He's a 28-year-old who was released by Southampton. He's not going to get any better. He's at the ceiling of his career. Chambers is a centre-back for me. I've said it all along. Play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. If not Ainsley, I would go Cedric for the simple fact that Cedric has a good link-up with Pepe. And that's what I think. But I would give Ainsley a chance. You know, apparently he has come out and said he is willing to play at right back. He's probably gone to West Brom, seen that it's not too nice there, and decided that he's willing to play at right back. Give him a chance. He was right back with Emery, exactly. Listen, I think someone saying there the pace of the centre backs will not be enough, but listen, these two are probably two of our quickest. Pablo Mari is super slow. And Rob Holding's not quick either. I think Ben White and is one of our quickest. But he's not a right back, Chambers. Definitely not. I would give him a chance. I remember last year at Newcastle, he came on for David Luiz, played centre-back and looked good. What would you guys change in this team? Let me know, people, in the comments. Terminator said Rob Holding is better than Chambers at centre-back. I just think with Holding, we've seen him at centre-back, and we know it's not good enough. We've seen Pablo Mari. He's nothing more than a squad player. I think in this scenario, until Gabriel comes back, we just need somebody to get us to after these next 2 games when Gabriel will be back. Gabriel trained yesterday as well, and he's looking strong. Looks like he's had a good summer, man. You know, looks like he's put on some size, probably understands that the Premier League, you need to be a little bit stronger. Chambers over Mari, trust me, I'm on that. Chambers can play a ball from the back too. Obviously, he played CDM when he went on loan to Fulham. Listen, I don't think he's the full-time answer in terms of long-term centre-back, but definitely need to improve on him. Real Ball Talk said, the mods are moving mad. I'm getting timed out for no reason. Bro, after this stream, I will look back on it and make sure, see who it is, and I'll fix that, people, Obviously, don't want people getting timed out when they're not really doing anything wrong. Big C, are you giving the armband to Xhaka if Aubameyang is not starting? Absolutely no chance. Am I giving Xhaka the armband? Never in a million years should he be the armband wearer for Arsenal Football Club. He took that armband off and threw it on the floor. The day he did that, he should have never wore it again. Give it to Tierney if Aubameyang doesn't play tomorrow. But he won't. Xhaka will be the captain if Aubameyang doesn't play. Just looking at that, if Aubameyang doesn't play, I think Martinelli will play up front. Obviously, I've put Saka back in the team. I know Saka hasn't started a game yet, but he played 25 minutes last week. He played 20 minutes the week before against Spurs. I think it is time to bring Bukayo back into the team. Zitranen said, I like the evening streams. Yeah, listen, sometimes I will mix it up. During the week, you will get regular 2:30 p.m. content. But I do want to do a few streams later on in the day just to help people with time differences around the world. So it makes it easier. So, yeah, I will definitely mix up the times. Front four, 100%. You like that front four? I think that's the best front four we got. Listen, like I said, if Aubameyang's not 100%, I would still play him. Still tickets available for tomorrow for anybody that wants to go. There are still tickets, and it looks like it may not be sold out tomorrow, although they do tend to sell a lot of tickets on the day, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I think that's a fairly steady team, and we'll have to see what happens. I'm not confident. I got to be honest, and I hate doing this. Obviously the Talk is Cheap show came out today, and I actually predicted a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Which, listen, I hate predicting a defeat for my own team, but I have to be honest. To be honest, at the time when I predicted that, I thought Aubameyang was out of the squad. So I just thought, where are the goals going to come from? How do we break down this Chelsea back four or back three? If Aubameyang starts, that definitely gives us a little bit of something. And it wouldn't surprise me if we got something out of the game. But listen, hopefully we can get a draw. Hopefully we can get a win. But I do think Chelsea are favourites for the game. That's the only way I can put it, people. So we'll have to see. Yeah, listen, I have to say it how it is, man. I don't want to be one of these fans that whoever Arsenal are playing, Arsenal win 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. We're the best team in the world. We'll beat everyone. I always speak my truth on this channel. I try and be balanced. Somewhere between negative and positive, there is a balance. And I like to be around there. I think we're going to have a very difficult game, but I just really hope they can pull something out of the bag tomorrow, man. They cannot afford to lose this game. We know Manchester City away next week is an even more difficult game than this. We've got a terrible record at the Etihad. We have actually beaten Chelsea twice last season. So a lot of pressure on the team tomorrow. You know, whilst I think it's fantastic that the fans are going to be there, Mikel Arteta saying the fans will get behind us, it can quickly go the other way and that the fans can turn on you if they don't see a performance they can be proud of. This team has to get a result tomorrow. It's going to be a huge game. Let's get into a few transfer bits and bobs, a few things that have come out. Something that Mikel Arteta has come out with. That's interesting. I'm not surprised. But Mikel Arteta, in his interview after the press conference, they do sort of an interview with the written press after the press conference. He's come out and said, we never wanted to let Granit Xhaka go. Arteta denies Arsenal wanted to sell Xhaka this summer despite Roma interest. This, for me, is where I question sometimes the manager. Now, I understand managers do not say everything in truth in a press conference. They don't say everything what's going on in front of the fans and in a press conference. We spent all summer negotiating with Roma. And he spent all summer flirting with Roma. Granit Xhaka wanted out, right? So, if we didn't want to sell him, then that would indicate that we were only trying to sell him because Granit was asking for the move. So in that case, Arsenal wanted to keep Xhaka. Xhaka wanted to leave the football club. Roma don't feel he's worth the money that we wanted, around 17 or 18 million pounds, 20 million euros. They offered 15 million euros, which is about 13 million pounds. Because we couldn't sell him, we then reward him with a new 4-year contract with a pay rise. And then we come out and publicly say we didn't want to sell him. What I want to know, why are we allowing a player like Granit Xhaka to hold all the cards in this situation? The way he's acting is the way I would have expected maybe an Alexis Sanchez, maybe a Robin van Persie to act. A player that actually felt like, I'm performing at a higher standard than the level that this football club is at. So I'm looking for a move. Then the move didn't happen and you've basically just decided to stay and we've rewarded you for your quality with a new contract. We're talking about Granit Xhaka. We're talking about 5 seasons of complete mediocrity from this guy. How can he dictate to Arsenal Football Club after 5 poor seasons or 5 average seasons or below par, 43 yellow cards, 3 reds? Oh, I want to leave. I'm leaving. I want to go and play for Mourinho. I want to play for Roma. I want to go to Serie A. They don't offer the money because they don't think you're worth it, because they signed a player for 20 million euros a week after, and they signed Tammy Abraham for 30 million pounds. So they had the money. They didn't think you was worth the money. How then does he come back to us and we say, here you go, welcome home, Granit. Here's your pay rise. Here's your 4-year contract. Here's the captain's armband when Aubameyang is out the team, and we'll just accept whatever you throw at us. This is what I'm talking about, the mentality of the football club. You cannot demand better from the club, from the players, from the fans, as the manager, if this is the way you're publicly going to act about a player. And everybody knows this. You set the standard as the manager. You set the benchmark. He didn't deserve to be rewarded. He clearly was the one pushing to leave the football club. I just think Arteta's got to act better than that. If you want to be this strong character, Arteta, that we hear in all these press conferences, these strong words he comes out with, back it up in the right way. Show Granit Xhaka, if you want Roma so bad, my friend, if that move falls through, when you come back here, you're on the bench. You're going to have to prove yourself, mate, because I couldn't even get £17 million out of Roma for you with 2 years left on your deal. So for me, I think that sends out all the wrong message to the fans, to the players, to him himself. Big up EW, he said Haaland could come and join his Norway teammate Odegaard at Arsenal. Listen, I think that's a race we will not be in. You know, that'll be Real Madrid, City, United, all of them teams. But I appreciate the super chat. Jay Torres said 4 more years without Champions League is what I see now. I just don't get it. Set the standards and then lift the team up to those standards. That's what the best managers do. Man said Xhaka is incredible. This is a Leeds fan, by the way, so I expect it. Brian said Xhaka the snail. I just don't understand how he gets to dictate what happens to us when he hasn't even performed at this football club to a high enough level. You know, that should not be happening. That bothers me. That bothers me. You know, he should not be wearing the armband, whether Aubameyang's available or not. Give it to Kieran Tierney. Give it to a young player. Give it to Ben White. Don't give it to him. He took it off and threw it. He doesn't deserve it. Only Roma were after Xhaka, says it all, and they didn't want to pay the money for it. That says it all, you know. Laka needs to go left again. Odegaard. Xhaka Golo Kante. Yeah, not quite, bro. If only. Jack Phillips said, let's have it right. None of us rate Xhaka, but our fans was calling for us to sign Zakaria for 30 million when he sits on the bench and plays Xhaka. Listen, Zakaria is okay. He wasn't. I want a Basuma. I think Basuma is a lot better than him. Mukhtar said he will perform in Qatar. Slower football, international football. Switzerland team seems to be set up better for him to perform. Gunnar Vettel said Basuma is playing really well against Watford. Oh, that was the late kickoff, right? I'll have to check. What's the score in that, people? Smash the like button. Over 1,500 of you in here. Appreciate you giving up your time on a Saturday. I realize a lot of you are busy on the weekend, and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you join me for the protest and then the watch along tomorrow. South London's Finest says Xhaka will retire at Arsenal and become our new technical director, replacing Edu. I'm calling it now. He will not leave until that contract finishes because no one's going to sign him. With 4 years on 120 grand. He'll see out that contract. Despise said 1-0 to Brighton. Okay, interesting. Brighton, man. Basuma playing well. Keegan said Basuma is balling. I cannot believe we haven't bought him because for me, next year, I'm calling this from now, that surely is maybe a Fernandinho replacement at Manchester City. I look at Manchester United's midfield. He's better than Fred and McTominay in the Premier League, I would say. United could do with him. Liverpool maybe will look for a midfielder next year. Wijnaldum has left. Tottenham could be losing Ndombele. Ndombele is a very good player. They may look at him. We need it. Listen, I just think next year he goes to somebody else and maybe we can't get him. Big up Jack Zeldin. He said, Big C, what up from Philly, homie? Big up, bro. Where you from? North side or south side, bro? Big up for tuning in. 5K a week, said Ahmed. I do exactly what Xhaka does. £500 a week, mate. You probably do what Xhaka does. Curtis Xhaka had a good Euro campaign, to be fair. I always say this, though, bro. What a player does for his international team is nothing to do with what he does for his club team. Two totally different environments, styles of football. He has to do that for us. If he does great for Switzerland, that doesn't affect Arsenal. I hear you. He is good for Switzerland, but got to do it for us. YS said, Curtis, how could you say yesterday that Aubameyang has carried us? Bro, listen, come on. Let's not pretend and forget. Sometimes we get caught up as football fans on form, on current form and stuff like that. We cannot forget that the guy, 2018-19 season, won the Golden Boot in the Premier League, 23 goals. And 2019-20 season, FA Cup year, scored 22 goals. Scored 2 goals against Manchester City in the semi-final, and then scored 2 goals against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Come on. Give him his flowers, people. Was he good enough last season? No chance. He was way off. If we're going to be able to criticize a player, we've equally got to be able to respect what the guy did. Do you know what I mean? Last season, nowhere near good enough. We can't lie about that. Not good enough. But he was a massive part of the reason we won the FA Cup. And a big part of the reason that we haven't finished even lower in this table the 2 previous years before that. He's definitely carried us. But no, he does. No, listen, 100% he has to deliver this season. The pressure's on him. The pressure's on him. He's had a lot of difficulties, but fans want to see you perform. And it's as simple as that. He has to perform. Smash the likes, people, on the video. Jack said, Curtis got a feeling Spurs will sign Basuma as an Ndombele replacement. Do you know what's interesting? I would have actually took Ndombele at Arsenal. Sol Campbell, businessman, Spurs to Arsenal. I know that won't happen, but I would have taken him. Apparently, Bayern Munich have made an offer for him. I think it was 20 million euros plus Tolisso. But I think it's been rejected. Jay Torres said we would have been relegated if it wasn't for Aubameyang. Listen, man, you have to give the man his due. Let's be honest. We was all desperate for him to sign that new contract. Sign the thing. You know how we was going, man. Big up Leo Messi Surfing and Sneakers for becoming a member on the channel. Much appreciated. We will be doing a member stream on Monday, so look out for that, people. Anybody that becomes a member on the channel, I give you an opportunity on the member streams to come on and give me your opinion. So you can join me on the video. I put the link in the description. Join in. Give me your opinion. Let's talk Arsenal. We've got about 10 days until the transfer window finishes. So we are going to have to do some business. That is for certain. Arteta has taken Twitter over the amount of posts now supporting him. Yeah, we're a very split fan base in that sense, man. Oh, here we go. YS is not having Aubameyang. Curtis scoring the majority of his goals on a plate isn't carrying a team. Just because he scores the goals, Aubameyang a legend as well now. Listen, I think it's very harsh to say Aubameyang's goals were all on a plate. He scored some very good goals that season. Look at what he done to the Chelsea defense when he twisted up Zuma and then just chipped it over the goalkeeper. There's nothing easy about that, people. He showed some real quality. Arsenal legend? No, not for me. I don't think he is, but he's the best striker we've had since Robin van Persie. It's all right criticizing him, but who do we replace him with? You saw the stark reality last week of what Arsenal are without Aubameyang. Balogun was not up to it, and Martinelli will take time to play through the middle. So I think we have to be honest. Aubameyang deserves a chance to prove himself this season. If he doesn't this season, then do what we need to do. Yo, I'm telling you, HMT with chest. I said it in pre-season. Even when the guy was struggling, I'm backing Aubameyang. Aubameyang's done more than probably most of these players, if not all of these players in this team. I have to back him. If it doesn't work this year, I'm with you, people. We have to move him on and go for someone else. But I want to hear, the apologies if he bangs goals in this season. Let's back him, and then we'll have it. We got man like Xhaka signing 4-year deals. I'm sure we can back Aubameyang. He's done 1,000,000 times more than Xhaka and Bellerin and them man have done. I back Aubameyang too. Aubameyang isn't my striker, said LG. Buenos Aires Guna said Team Alba. Come on, man. He's back this season, man. Trust me, man. One more piece of transfer news, people, is Said Kolasinac. Reports coming out of Turkey that Kolasinac has an agreement on his contract termination with Arsenal. His agent will meet with the club next week to terminate his contract. He will be a Fenerbahce player soon. He has apparently, his agent is flying in this week to have a meeting with Edu, try and negotiate the cancellation of his contract. Arsenal will pay a fee for him to leave. He will then join Fenerbahce and he will become a Fenerbahce player. I think this deal is going to happen. And we need to get him out the door. It's amazing. We signed him for free and it was still too expensive. There is no such thing as a free transfer in football nowadays. He's on £100,000 a week. This is a guy that made Bundesliga team of the season at left back the year before we signed him. And he has been a dreadful signing, always given everything, but not good enough. His best defending was when they tried to attack Mesut Ozil in the street. That's probably the best defending he's had since he's been an Arsenal player. Not good enough. 100 grand a week was ridiculous. And he will leave, hopefully, this week to Fenerbahce. Michael, I honestly don't know how many tickets are left, but I did see a picture when I checked earlier today. There were still quite a few scatterings of blue around the ground. They will probably sell tomorrow on the match day. A lot of people turn up on the day and buy tickets. But there are tickets available, 100%. Aubameyang with the R9 boots. Listen, if you're going to wear R9 boots, you have to perform. You know what I mean? We need 20 goals from Aubameyang. Listen, we need goals from him. We need goals from the team, but we need goals from Aubameyang, 100%. Mark said, only spent this money because of all or nothing. We got to keep it on the ownership. This team is nowhere near what it should be. We could spend a lot more. We're Arsenal Football Club. Love the show. Big up, Mark. Appreciate that. Listen, it's interesting because Arsenal have spent more than anybody in the Premier League, but there is still question marks. And this is what I said. Every signing comes with questions, right? You can sign any player in the world. You're gonna put question marks on them. Can they handle the league? Can they adjust? Can they give what you've signed them to do? But in reality, when you sign certain players, you don't have a big question mark on them because you believe so much in their ability. Their CV is so strong that you expect that to carry on. I think with Tavares, Lokonga, who are younger players, more signed as backup, Ben White at 50 million, Ramsdale at 30, and Odegaard, I think there are a lot of question marks over those players. All talented, all young, all have potential, and I'm sure can all do well at Arsenal. What I'm not sure of is how quickly can these guys all do well at Arsenal? Will they all start in the team? One thing that bothers me with the Odegaard signing, is that going to come at the expense of Nicolas Pepe? You saw last season when Odegaard came in, Pepe was being dropped because he was playing Saka on the right, Odegaard 10, Smith Rowe on the left. But when you've got Pepe, Martinelli, Saka as your three wingers, you don't really need to move Smith Rowe out to the left. You've got three wingers that naturally play in that position. So we're going to have a lot of competition, but I hope it doesn't hold back players like Pepe, because I think this is make or break for Nicolas Pepe this season. He has to perform. We can't make excuses for him anymore. He cost 72 million. I need to start seeing him rip fullbacks to shreds, right? I'm sick of seeing him check back and give the ball to the right back. He has to perform this season. So it's going to be interesting what happens with the team selection, even from tomorrow. Obviously, Martin Odegaard is not available tomorrow due to his visa not being done in time. Aaron Ramsdale should be available from what I've heard, so he could be involved. I just totally missed that comment. I clicked on it and didn't read it. Brio said, why doesn't Arteta just play players in their positions which players are actually playing in? Listen, it's a simple question and it's difficult to get an answer from this guy. Unproven is unproven, though, and we have half a team of them, 100%. 100%. The reality is, when Manchester United signed Sancho, you know he's going to be successful. You think that Varane is going to be successful. You would expect Lukaku to be successful because their CV and their standard says that you will be shocked if they don't work. We've signed players on a slightly lower level than that, probably because we're not in Europe. So there's pressure on them. Tony, mate, I am having a shocker. The Fantasy Premier League team, I'm about 800. I think we've got 1,200 people in the league. I checked today, I was about 800th. I'm having an absolute shocker again. I need to change that team, man. I told you this fantasy league, man. It's a madness. Big up, man, like troops in the chat. Hope you're well, my bro. I only just heard yesterday you're back in London, bro. I'll shout you, man. We have to link up. I'll see you at the protest tomorrow, man, but I'll drop you a message. I need to get you on it. Big up troops in the chat. Let me know if you're about, bro. If you're free, I'll drop you the link, man. Jump on. Let me know, bro. Man said free Aubameyang. Listen, I heard. Yeah, listen, I'll say it. I heard yesterday that Aubameyang's not happy. I heard that Aubameyang is not happy with what's going off at Arsenal. And you can see why. Because even though a lot of people will just say it's Aubameyang's fault, he hasn't scored goals. I'm a striker myself. I haven't played at the level of Arsenal and Aubameyang. But you all know people, right? If you play up front and you don't get service, life becomes real difficult. Arsenal right now is a difficult place for a striker to do the business, right? I said a long time ago, right, when Aubameyang was scoring all these goals, I said, listen, people, Aubameyang is overperforming in this team. And people didn't believe me. They go, nah, he'll keep scoring goals. I said, he's overperforming because we don't create chances. You've seen it. Lacazette, £50 million striker from France. Outside of Cavani, he was the best striker in the French league. Never scored 15 league goals since he's been at Arsenal. Why? Number one, maybe he doesn't handle the league as well as Aubameyang did. Number two, we don't create loads of chances. The man drops deep. Half the time, the man's playing like a defensive midfielder when he's dropping in and trying to help the midfield. Why is he dropping in? Because the midfield don't get the ball to him. When he was at Lyon, he had Fekir behind him, feeding him. Look at Aubameyang at Dortmund, Royce, Mkhitaryan when he was balling. They were feeding him through balls. When's the last time you seen a man play a through ball to Aubameyang? And Aubameyang just runs through one-on-one. You know how many goals this guy scored for Dortmund off a through ball where he's just one-on-one with a goalkeeper? You don't see it. You don't see it at Arsenal. It's not easy. Look at Balogun last week. Young player, excitement. Hardly kicked the ball. Hardly got a touch. Let me tell you now, this is a difficult team to succeed in if you're a striker. We're stinking out the place with chances created. I think we finished 12th in the Premier League last year for chances created. It's a hard place for a striker. You put Lewandowski in this team, I'm telling you now, he ain't scoring the 30 goals that he scores for Bayern Munich. We don't create chances. What did we do against Brentford? What was the tactics? Give the ball to Kieran Tierney and whip it in. I thought we had Giroud up front. I said, yo, what's going on? We had Balogun up front. How old's Balogun? 19? I don't think he's even 6 foot tall. And we're putting in 20 crosses in the air, trying to get him to score headers? We've got to be a little bit more. We've got to understand what we've got. Use the players that you've got. When you watch Leicester play, Vardy gets fed. They give Vardy what he needs to succeed. We get the ball forward early, quickly. We get you in space. We get you running onto things. Aubameyang, his pace is in his sprinting. It's sprinter's pace. It's not dribbling pace. He's not a winger like a Mane who's going to get the ball and rinse the fullback. He's not a dribbler. He's a runner. He needs to run onto the ball. We don't create like that. And the sad thing is, and I said this time and time again, we should have bought Aubameyang 2 years earlier than when we signed him. 3 years earlier than when we signed him. You remember 2015, 16, Leicester winning the title? Title was in our hands. I was there, Valentine's Day, Danny Welbeck. You remember the game, people. Ozil whips it in. Welbeck, bang. We should have won the title that year. Why did we not win the title? We never bought a striker in January. Giroud did the rest, 15 games. Couldn't hit a barn door for 15 games. Every time we address one situation, another situation occurs. For years, we've been talking about creativity. We don't create. We don't create. Remember 3 or 4 years ago, we had creativity falling out of our pockets. It was literally falling out of our pockets. Ozil, Cazorla, Sanchez, Ramsey. I would have loved to have been a striker in that team, but the problem was then we never had the striker. Guess what? When Ozil starts to fade, when Ramsey's contract's running down, when Sanchez is leaving, then we go and sign the strikers. We spend 50 mil on Laka, nearly 60 mil on Aubameyang. But guess what? Now you've just lost the creativity. So now you've got the strikers without the creative players. And we haven't had them creative players for like Jack Wilshere as well. There you go. There you go, people. For years, we had pure creative players, but didn't want to buy the striker. And that's what you've got to do. And this is my worry of Arsenal this year. And someone said it earlier in the chat. We've addressed certain things like, yeah, we got the ball playing centre-back. But you need the centre midfielder. Thomas Partey needs that centre midfielder. I desperately hope over the next 10 days that we can get 3 or 4 players out, because that's the only way for me that we're going to bring 1 or 2 more players in. If we're going into this season again with Chambers at right back, and then Bellerin will get the recall, and then we'll probably get Cedric back in, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, people. We've said it before. The left wingers in the Prem are better than any other league in the world. In the same league. There's no league with a better group of wingers than the Premier League. Imagine being a right back in the Prem. You play Man City, they're going to start Grealish. They're going to have Sterling as well. You play Man United, you're going to play against Rashford. You might play against Jadon Sancho. You know, Tottenham will have Son. Liverpool, Mane, even Zaha. Right back is an unforgiving position in the Prem. It ain't no joke. You need a serious right back in the Prem. Otherwise, it's a weakness that will just get exposed. So I really hope that Arsenal go and get some players in this transfer window. We're too short at least. We need at least 2 more, Big up Taylor Chains for becoming a member on the channel, bro. Much appreciated. Make sure you look out for the member streams. One on Monday as well. So look out for that. Big up for becoming a member. It's all right, lad. You got Ben White. Hey, Leeds fan trolling me here, Listen, Ben White's good. But like I said, you got to put him into a proper structure, a proper defense that he can thrive in, This isn't at the moment. I don't think you'll see the best of Ben White until Gabriel is fit and Thomas Partey. We have to offer him some protection in front of the back four. You know, Man United won the title years ago with Smalling and Jones. Not great centre-backs, but they protected them. With Carrick and them, man, just sat in front of them and protected them. You can make an average defence look good if your midfield helps them and protects them. Our midfield exposes our back four and just leaves them wide open. And this is the problem. This is the players like Xhaka and people like that do not protect. People saying 2-0 to Brighton. Did Basuma score? Who scored, people? Let me know. Oh, Mope, apparently. Basuma assist. He's there, man. He's right there. We can all see it. We can all see it. What is this team if you put Basuma in it and a quality right back? It's a team that's got a chance. I'm not saying a chance of getting top four, but it can compete. It can definitely get top six. It can definitely challenge for a trophy. The reality is, and I said this many times, I want Arsenal to get top four this season, of course. But top six would be a step in the right direction. We would be back in Europe. We would be able to get a better standard of player. We would get the European money. It would be a step forward. Now, getting top four would be a shock to me because I look at City, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea, and I think at the moment, with the money they've spent, with the managers they've got, even though I don't think Ollie is a particularly good manager, but he's just got ballers in his team. I think it will be very difficult for Arsenal to bridge that gap with the players that we've signed this summer. I don't think we've quite got enough. But listen, let's hope over the next few weeks. Apparently, Arsenal, Mikel Arteta said, we've got to sell players. We've got to sell players before we can bring players in. Someone just messaged me, right, saying Brighton are balling. How is Graham Potter playing this type of football with players who are not on the levels of Arsenal? This is what I'm talking about. The style should have been implemented by now. Can you imagine what Basuma and Thomas Partey in our midfield would be? You think you're just running through that? That is a brick wall. And they can play. Basuma can play. But we're out here, Xhaka, 4-year deal, and we're trying to take shortcuts. There's no shortcut to success, people. Pay the money. Pay the money, bruv. Give us a chance. Don't wait till Thomas Partey starts fading in a year, in 2 years, and then you're going to give... Because if they're giving Xhaka a 4-year deal on 120, when you're going to buy a centre mid? They're probably going to tell us next year we don't need a centre mid. Xhaka's here, Partey's here, Lokonga's here. El Neni, although Neni's out of contract next year, but buy that central midfielder to play next to Thomas Partey so that we've got a proper midfield. Get the right back. You can't have a glaring weakness at right back. And I said it earlier on the stream for anyone who's just joined. Until we buy a right back, I would put Ainsley back at right back. Apparently, he said publicly now that he's willing to play at right back. I think Cedric is a squad player. Bellerin should be sold. Chambers is a centre-back. Play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's quick, he's mobile, he's good on the ball. He can drop into those little central midfield areas, that inverted right back that the manager wants. Let him build a partnership with Pepe, and let's go. Ainsley at right back, Tierney at left back, Gabriel and Ben White at centre back. At least it's young, enthusiastic, energetic. They will grow together. What do you get out of playing Cedric at right back? He's 28. He's not going to get any better. Bellerin's not good enough. Chambers is never going to be good enough at right back. That's what I would go with. LG ain't going to like it, but I'm telling you, LG, there ain't a better option in my opinion right now. I believe he's the best right back at the club. That's me being honest. Unless Arsenal are going to find an alternative and go and buy someone, which I hope they do, but I think they've got to sell Bellerin for that to be the case. Go with your midfield of Lokonga and Partey. Don't go with Xhaka. Play Smith Rowe or Odegaard in the 10. Play Saka and Pepe out wide, Aubameyang up front, and we move. There's enough there to cause problems. And get a style of football implemented that suits this team, and let's start building. I'm sick of watching Arsenal and not knowing what the plan is when they're on the pitch. But like I said, we do need... Don't worry, that Wenger stream is coming, man. Do you know what? I think it's best if I do it during the international break. So, obviously, we play Chelsea tomorrow, Man City next week. I will do it the following week because I want to do it properly, people. But listen, Big up to all of you for tuning in today. We've been on, an hour and 9 minutes. Still over 1,600 people in the chat. Big up Troops who popped in as well. Now I know he's in London. I will reach out to him and try and get him on the show while he's over here. So big up to him. Big up to all of you for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Can we hit 1,000 likes? And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, people. We're past 33K. We're getting great numbers tomorrow. I will be at the protest at the Emirates from about 2:30. And I will check the mods as well. Apologies for anybody who's been getting timed out, who hasn't really said anything. I will double check on that. I will be at the Emirates from 2:30 tomorrow for about 45 minutes to an hour. And I will then come back and do the watch along. Arsenal against Chelsea, big game. Chelsea have got no Christian Pulisic, who is out with COVID. But Lukaku, Kante, Chilwell and Reece James come back into the squad. Lukaku, there are even reports that Lukaku could start tomorrow, people. So this Arsenal defense are going to have to be seriously tuned in for that game. It's going to be difficult. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 2:30. Protest at the Emirates. If any of you guys are down at the Emirates, give me a shout. Let's talk football. And I'll be back for the watch along. Look out for the notifications on YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, people, before Arsenal jump in and, mash up the weekend. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bless.